Welcome to Analytics are for the nerds. We are 97 days out until the NFL training camp start. Isn't that exciting? Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Once again, gentlemen, I'm sorry about losing your boner. So sorry.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101, it's very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet, his white feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth,
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet.
I gotta tell you, I am, you know this about me, I've been around for 20 years, you know I'm like 15 years late to a trend, but I'm also like 10 years before the next trend. I could rock out a visor, I think. I could rock it every day, and not for a long time, because eventually that trend will spill again, but I think tomorrow I can go out and people are like, he's rocking it. He's doing it right. He's doing it.
Hair and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So, welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
I love that intro. It makes me smile. How are you guys doing?
I'm great. Another week, another chance to defend an Ashton Genty trade. I cannot wait.
You are so pumped by that, Ryan. I know you were group chatting about that. So
I cannot tell you about how many DMs I've gotten over the last week from people that have like watched the podcast that are in these leagues with me that are like, he's not serious, right? Like he was like those trades, and I'm like, oh no, he's 100% making those trades. Like,
and the DMs that Louis talking about are the burner accounts that he has that he sends to himself. That,
I'm telling you, I am telling you, I'm 4 or 5. I'll send them to you after the show. People are like, there's no way he's really made those trades, right? And I'm like, 100%. And I referenced the one league where they can go and look, one of the Brent leagues where you did the Mahomes trade, which obviously was the most normal of them all. But yeah, people are up in arms. And I go, he's crazy. And then somebody was like, well, even Allie agreed with him. And I was like, well, Jesus, she just always just sides with him.
I mean, he's usually right. I also like when you say 4 or 5, that definitely means 3 or 4. Okay.
That's man talk. That's
man talk. Let's be real. I saw you this weekend with a nice comedy show. I saw you probably supporting Kyle Turner, our
No. Don't even say that. I looked at that dais and that show and I was like, oh my God, I got 3 of my best friends, although you were kind of rude a little bit. You didn't really hang out. That's fine. I get it. You're busy. Your dad was there. You had people there. That's fine. I thought you would be more like, oh, hey, Louis here. It's so excited. I can't believe he came to see me. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that, Ryan? You always wondered what it would be like to see Allie sing Hootie and the Blowfish? Love that performance.
And absolutely. You were singing along to it like
that was your hype man. I really was. I was hype manning right behind you. I swear to you. So that was I did that same thing to Chris Plumer yesterday on the podcast. I showed Ryan with his video, But I mean, there was some amazing performances from people I didn't know that could sing. What I loved about you the most, I may have had more weed than drinks. I only had a couple drinks there, but I definitely got pretty high. But I came home, my mom was babysitting, and I came home and she was asking me about it, and I was like, my mom hardly even knows you, but I'm like, that was like the most loose I've ever seen Allie. She was having fun. She's dancing. I mean, those moves were, you were getting into it. I 100% was there for the whole Allie show. It was very, very good. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you. I never realized how, I say this all the time. I've never picked up a guy at a bar because of my dancing. I've never been at like a club and people are like, who is she? Usually it's like a loud laugh, maybe an obnoxious sneeze. That really draws the male gaze towards me, but not my dance moves. And that just there shows people what they've missed.
Look, undoubtedly an electric performance, but I must ask, how are you not singing Wonderwall in that opportunity? I mean,
well, so here's the thing. This is a true story. So the song wasn't an option for me. So it was a dad rock show. Is you guys probably, I guess you would see it because on group chats, I don't respond to group chats. I'm like a text me girl. And then you also guys both know I will respond to one or two and then I just leave the chat. I don't respond. Like I'm an in and out kind of person. I'm not a like constant. When they gave this all the list of songs, I was like, I don't need to respond to this. And everyone took the great songs. Plumer had a song I would have done in a second. I was hoping I could have done a like Natalie and Bruglia Torn. That's where I really shine. But so anyway, it was fun. But yeah, no Wonderwall, not an option. And you can see how mad that band looked. They were so pissed.
Maybe we'll have Kyle on as a guest and I'll show some of his because he was the funniest with the band and talking shit to the band. And it was a great night. One of the, I feel outside the comedy family sometimes now, but that was like one of the coolest hangs we've had in a while. Felt very old school and loved to watch you guys have some fun. So,
and our buddy, also our buddy Rick Matthews was on there. So I've got a few very interesting things, at least to my my humble opinion. Let's start with something sport related. We're going to talk about a guy who's not really likable, and now he's venturing off into another weird world, and that's Sean Avery, former hockey player Sean Avery, not nice to women Sean Avery, but he's writing a hockey smut book called Summer Skate. It's set to be released September 2025. So think fan fiction, think 50 Shades of Grey, but with hockey. The little title of the book, it's One Summer, No Rules, Just Heat. So Sean Avery, yes, I know. Wow, ladies. Right up. Does anyone have a ShamWow? Gross, right? So he is writing this with someone. So just imagine doing a book report or writing a book about hockey and sexy times, and then you're writing it with the person. So it'd be like, hey, Ryan, how do you feel about me being like, yeah, after I got slammed into the boards, I then got, and then you like, it's just so. Where are we? What are we doing? What is happening? Gentlemen, tell me.
I do want to correct something because you did say that he's not good to women. Is that like, because I'm just looking at something and I don't see anything that he's
his ex-wife, mother of his child, while the kid was in the room.
Oh, I just see that he was facing restraining orders amid child abuse and like.
Not women, just
it's not women, it's just kids. So I just want to clarify, sometimes
allegedly.
I don't know. If my 4-year-old makes me watch fucking Moana 2 one more fucking time, you might have same allegations.
I would I would volunteer to read this book and give you the report, but I vowed to never read another hockey book again after Matt Christopher's Wingman on Ice ruined Santa and Christmas for me. It spoiled the Christmas secret in the book. I'm reading the book as like a fourth grader, and it talks about how like the one brother still believed in Santa, and I brought it to my parents. I was like, "What is this? What does he mean he still believes in Santa?" And that's how I found out. So I can't read the hockey books. Can't do it.
That's the difference between rich and poor people. Ryan didn't find out there was no Santa till fourth grade.
Well, I don't remember what grade it was. I mean, come on, whatever.
Ryan,
It's probably
Ryan was like, "Mommy, Daddy, there's no use." They're like, "You're 13, dude. You're fucking. you're about to drive."
Louie and I are just taking menus home from Denny's, being like, "Mom, Dad, this puzzle." I'm so sorry.
That's actually going to be number one pick on my '90s toy draft is the Denny's puzzles that I would steal.
Oh, good. But it could be a good book. It could just be, Sean Avery. We all probably remember or recall that when he was playing for the Rangers, he also interned at Vogue, which was very edgy at the time, which is also shows how much the world has changed. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be 48 pages, and
I'll read it. I'll read it and report back.
Okay, this sounds good. Book club.
I definitely will. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Hate him or love him. If he has anything to like, I mean, he was an interesting person. He was always, he was controversial. He was whatever. I still love. Whenever I think of Sean Avery, I think of the him during the playoff games, like just standing in front of Brodeur like this. Like just he would do like the waving his hands in the air, like just so dumb. And Brodeur would just give him like the stick and the nuts. But I dated Alicia Cuthbert, one of the hottest women ever.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm giving. Yeah. I'm not just going to make this a whole shit on Sean Avery segment.
Wait a second. That's the same. Is that the same girl that was in The Girl Next Door?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, and she's now. You know who she's married to?
Yes, she's married to a Leafs player. Who is it, Ryan? Who is it?
Dion Phaneuf.
Captain, I believe, right? Captain Phaneuf.
Not anymore, right? He's not.
Yeah, no, he's been out of the league for 5 years.
Yeah,
so
but, I mean, look what's happening to the Leafs. They're in the It's not a Phaneuf. I'm not trying to bash any hockey. They're
this is it.
And just okay. So I'm going to tell you two different studies that I believe are very correlated, very interesting, and it's a sensitive kind of talky feely thing. So I'm going to tell you both. I'm going to go to one and then move into the second, and then we're going to share our feelings. Okay. Science says you can catch someone's mood just by being near them. Saying that, studies show 85% of the things people actually worry about never actually happen. So how much of our anxiety, how much of our fears do we project, and then our significant others, our friends, or whatever, our animals, soak it up? Interesting facts, right?
Oh, yeah. That definitely happens, right? I mean, you are, I think we all are products of our environment. It's tough to sometimes, control the anxiety, right? It can be stressful and life is really tough. But yeah, I absolutely think that if you're around, if you're in a bad space, it can very easily just, lead to others.
Yeah. Or if Ryan's very excited about a new draft pick and Louis like, I hate it. I'm like, I'm going with Ryan because he's just so happy about it. Like,
I don't believe this bullshit. And I'll tell you why. I have been horny at 3:00 in the morning next to a lot of people that did not seem like they were as horny as I were, or at least for me. And I don't believe in that translating like you guys say. I have not gotten the same reciprocation.
All right. Well, this is now my favorite story. I kind of love how passive aggressive this person is. And I love this. Every year, Steve Harvey used to send a new TV to the teacher who said he'd never make it on TV. So in 6th grade, this is 2 years after Steve Harvey read a hockey book where he discovered Santa was real. Steve Harvey wrote in an essay that he wanted to be on TV despite having a severe stutter. His teacher mocked his dream and called his parents, which is also like kind of a stupid thing. Like, your kid wants to be on TV. That's stupid. That's what a terrible teacher. But he called his parents. But while his mother was upset, his father encouraged him to keep the paper and read it daily. This advice obviously shaped Steve Harvey, and I love how cruel. Like, this is bad guy energy, and I love it. What's your take on Steve Harvey's vengeance?
I do like pettiness. I do think I mean I love all of it. I love stories like that where people do some real petty shit just to like show. It's funny. I am and I always laugh and enjoy Steve Harvey. There is a lot of bad shit out there about Steve Harvey and the person he is, and listen to Cat Williams for an hour. There's a lot of people that talk tons of shit that he's held other comics back, that he's stolen stuff, like a lot of stuff like that. I enjoy him. I don't want to be Mr. Negativity here in each category here, but I like the move. I like any kind of pettiness. I had my high school principal told my mother. I went into what I called summer camp, but it was in the winter and it was rehab. It wasn't so much summer camp as it was rehab in the winter. But and he told my mom, he goes, he will not pass this year. He's gonna be a dropout, and I'm gonna be here and tell you like I told you so. And I got out of rehab and I passed all my exams with 90s or a plus. And since I just go to his house once a year and take a shit on his lawn. So, and that's been
I love that.
once a year for 20 years.
So sweet. I said petty. I love that petty. Allegedly though, right? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes. Right. The only weird thing that not weird, I'm sure there's many, I just blacked them out, but I had a high school drama teacher who was also the librarian, public school. Ryan doesn't know about that stuff. But he followed, this is when like Facebook just came out and I was already in college and I was like, but we were friends. And this is a man like in his 70s, right? Librarian, and friends of Dorothy, and unfollowed me. And I was like, this motherfucker, what? So I see him out at plays occasionally, and then I'm just like right behind his ear, just like making sure he.
So I know all of us as comics are like this, where we're fucked 100%. Up in the mind, and we're always going to wonder why and think why do you like? I would have put a reason on. For me, I'm like, oh, he probably didn't like this. What is the reason why you think he would have unfollowed you? What have you thought about? What has gone around in your brain 37 times?
I'm thinking there was too many postings or really not interesting things. Since he was also a librarian, my syntax could have been just atrocious in early Facebook world. I don't know, but I just know I've done some local TV commercials, and I know when he's just flipping through the CW. When he's not that my face just
I had this goes back to like before cell phones and like even being able to send bad pictures or videos like via phones. I had a buddy whose girlfriend in college like cheated on him and like because they had a flight. She went out, like messed around with some guy, and then she ended up like delivering him pictures, like giving him a note, like a breakup note, and like in the note pictures of them having sex, like her and the other guy. And the kid sent him back to her parents' house. Sent and didn't put it to her parents. Dude, it was the best It was it's still I mean, this was 20 years ago, and still to this day I tell that story over and over again because it was the best spiteful thing that's ever happened in my life. It's so great. It's such a good move.
So you were
Man.
involved in this story?
No. I just knew the
Okay.
kid. I knew the kid.
Oh.
Yeah, I was the one having sex with her. No,
That's-
I just
Wow.
knew the kid that made the move to do it, which was incredible. Yeah,
Wow.
very, very, very cool.
I feel
Sorry.
weird that I'm upset that a high school librarian. Again, two different lives we've lived, two different lives. All right, I guess let's talk a little football, you guys. Should we do that? I said this earlier. We are 97 days away from spring or from training camp, which is so exciting to think about. It's going to go by in a second, but let's do some fantasy football categories. Okay, we're going to do a rookie sleeper edition.
All right. So
I have 3 players for each person.
You're gonna give us a player. Say whoever you want to go first. Pick the player, and then I will spin the wheel to see what category we're gonna get.
All right. Since I feel bad that Ryan should have not been the loser last week, but you just always just tweak something at the end for me, Ryan. I'm going to go with you first. I'm going to give you the gold first. I'm going to give you Jaden Blue, and now Louie, if you can spin.
This is way better than the NHL lottery. Did you watch that show yesterday? That was so insanely horrible.
Oh, comedian.
You know, I really wanted you to get things that were blue for Jaden Blue.
No, I know. Can you please spin it again? I don't want comedians for this one. Come on.
Well, who's a blue comedian? I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have one. I'll redo it.
Just give me one more spin.
This is it. That you get one mulligan. We'll both get one mulligan.
Okay. All right. Fine.
One mulligan.
So now the cartoon characters and Jaden Blue.
Yeah, listen, I missed out a couple of great opportunities here. For song, I was going to go with Eiffel 65 on blue. That was an easy one. For this one, though, I do think that there's an answer. So I looked up Jaden Blue. Okay. Now, if you ever see a picture of Jaden Blue, I think he kind of looks like Steve Smith Jr. All right. And Steve Smith Jr. recently was known to be somewhat of a womanizer. So I'm going to go with Jaden Blue is Johnny Bravo because he kind of looks like Steve Smith Jr., who cheats on his wife with other women who are married. So,
nothing about his playing style just right to look. I like the connection. I like the connection. No, yeah. I like the connection. It got there.
For our audio listeners, while this serious conversation is happening, we have targeted ads for mouthwash that works without the burn. So,
no tender fresh salmon from Aldi.
I'm going to give you Harold Fannin Jr. And if you could please spin.
Harold Fannin Jr. Ooh, this should be fun. Oh, comedians for Harold Fannin Jr. All right. I know what I'm going to go with this, and it's because we know how I felt about Harold Fannin. I had him as like number 3 at one point behind the top 2 tight ends not too long ago. I really wanted him to go to a good spot. He goes to a horrible spot in Cleveland behind Njoku, although I do maybe like his long-term success there. He's a Columbus boy. Like, there might be some fun there, and I'm still drafting him where I could, but I'm going to go with a comedian that I used to love and then soured on. And I'll do this. Mitch Fatel was a comedian. This is a little bit maybe insidey. Maybe if you guys listeners don't know him, go back and watch his stuff. Hilarious dude. I really fell in love with like his delivery, and he was unique at the time when he was coming up. And honestly, when I started doing comedy, he was my favorite comedian. And then I worked with him shortly thereafter maybe like 3-4 years into comedy, and this dude not only berated the staff and like was one of those guys that like needed his, he was very on the spectrum, I think, needed his tomatoes on the side of his sub and all those things. Not only was he a pain in the ass there, but then he told me, and I watched him do 5 shows that weekend, and they were all the same. I mean, the same word for word. Even the crowd work was all, exactly the same each show. And he told me he did sets that every single one of his sets were 55 minutes to 55 minutes and 50 seconds. And he never, ever broke. Like, he always was within that 1 minute, no matter what. And that's just so robotic and so like not what I love about comedy that it totally turned me off on him. So that was a very long-winded story, but I was able to kind of connect it to a personal thing. So I used to love Fannin Jr. I want to still pull for him, but I've definitely soured here after the draft.
All right. All right. I feel a little sad. Okay, so Ryan. Alec Ayamanor. We're gonna give you a spin.
That was a good job on the name. I
Thank
think I would mess it up a
you.
lot more.
Alec Alec. State. Whether the state you're in or
well, okay. A state. Well, I guess I'm gonna go with the state that doesn't yet exist, but that may exist sometime in the future. Turns out Alec Ayamanor is from Canada, which might become the 51st state at some point. We don't know for sure. So I'm just gonna say that the state that reminds me of Alec Ayamanor is Canada. That counts.
Hey. That was fun. Okay.
It's not a sad story about a comedian I used to love, but
it's not quite that.
Do you feel like he is actually not a state, but is more of a country? Like, is a bigger than what
he is a big guy. Yeah, he's big guy.
Yeah.
Could have gone with Tennessee because that's where he's playing. That made a lot of sense too. But I decided to go with the state that doesn't exist, Canada.
All right, next up, hopefully another sad story. Let's give Louis Pat Bryant and a nice spin.
Pat Bryant, man, I've been drafting him a lot, which I don't totally understand. So, but this will probably things that are blue for Pat Bryant. I'm going to go with man.
You could do a comedy thing again.
No, I'm gonna go with Blue Eyes because a good set of blue eyes makes me forget everything shitty about you. if you got a pretty set of blue eyes, I'm not thinking about how bad you really are. And I think that's what his landing spot is, right? Like Pat Bryant was like not even in the top 25 of most people's rankings. He ends up going in the 3rd round to Denver, gets a really good spot. Like, they're losing Sutton at the end of the next year for sure. This guy can move into an easy number 2 spot, maybe even number 1 spot. Like, is Mims ever a true number 1? Like, this guy has got the opportunity for a lot of targets. I've been all over him here because people didn't know the name pre-draft, so they're having trouble drafting him where he should go, late 2nd, early 3rd in a lot of these drafts. So yeah, he's got the pretty blue eyes right now, and I'm falling for him.
All right, ladies, watch out. All right, and your last one, Ryan, I'm going to give you Jack Beck, and let's spin between 2. So the anticipation is song. So you could go a Jeff Beck song or
So first of all, I was surprised to learn in doing some DraftKings post-draft best ball drafts that his ADP has risen. I mean, almost like 100 spots. He's in the early like 110s, right? And you might remember a few months ago, this very show was recommending that you get on the Jack Besh train because he was a standout at the Senior Bowl. He was one of my guys. So I'm going to go with "Baby Got Besh" as the song is what it reminds me of. So "Baby Got Back."
All right.
I love that. And I also love that I called him Back and not Besh. So sorry, Jack.
Kind of worked better for my song anyway.
It
So
did.
appreciate that.
See, look at it. It's teamwork makes the dream work. We just yes and each other. All right, now Louis, the final pick would be types of furniture, and I'm going to give you Jaden Milroy. Milroy?
Milrow.
Boy.
Man, I wanted any other thing for Jaden Milrow because I couldn't really think of a good a good type of furniture that like is and so maybe you guys can help me with this, but something that you buy and you're excited about it, but you can't use it for a while, or you don't normally use it for a while.
I know
It just sits
that's
Okay.
exactly what I was thinking. That makes a ton of
If you-
sense. So I think it's not really, maybe this doesn't count as furniture, but I would say Jalen Milrow is like a fine china set because it looks nice on the
Yes.
shelf, but you're not bringing it out very much.
That's
I was
I think that
example,
qualifies for furniture, and I think that qualifies for my answer. I think that's
All
very,
right.
very good. I said it. He helped me, but
Yeah, teamwork.
that's good. It was that's exactly what it is. Is that I had some really good answers for him as he was my favorite coming out of the draft. And as far as all the quarterbacks go, as far as what his value would be, and I just wanted him to go to a little bit of a better spot. Not great where he is, but I'm excited for what 2-3 years down the road might look, and maybe sooner. Who knows?
All right. Next, we're going to do vet trades. That sounds like it could be anything if we were another type of podcast. So very fun. Very fun. So we're going to go through a couple things. The first round, we're going to do quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. We'll each go back and forth between Louis and Ryan. And the first topic would be players you trade a late first round pick for. Players you pick for a late first round pick for. Let's go quarterback first. And I'm going to ask Louis.
I'm on the Justin Fields train still. I know that, and I'm talking super flex obviously here. I wouldn't be trading a late first and any other, but in a super flex thing, I want to buy Justin Fields. I probably am gonna I know a lot of people are going to listen to this tonight that are in leagues with me and send me late first for Justin Fields. And I want to just preface a little bit. I probably would push for like early second. I might counter with early second, but I do think he is worth it. I think he's the best one to consider here when you're talking a late first. I think there are other guys who are a little bit too unrealistic, and that out of this tier, I think he is the one that I would want to trade for and still want to buy into.
Ryan.
Well, that's funny because you'll hear about him in a few moments on one of my lists. But the player that I'd like to sell a late first round pick to buy is JJ McCarthy. And so hear me out. I'm a little worried about the prospect profile, truthfully, because I wasn't super impressed with him. But I really like Kevin O'Connell. And I think we just saw what happens when you have a quarterback in the system for Kevin O'Connell is he's going to produce. So if McCarthy is halfway decent, you're going to be paying off that bet if you can buy him right now for a late first. And I like making those bets. The only difference between him and Fields for me, there's similar value ranges right now, but we kind of already know what Fields can do. And yes, he has more of the rushing upside, which makes your point worth it, I think. And I can see your argument. But I'd rather have like the scratch off lotto ticket to see if I can get something better with McCarthy.
I don't hate that at all. I just don't think you could get him for a late one. I've been trying I'll tell you that. So I agree with you. I think that
Okay.
that's a great buy if you could get it. I just think people are saying the exact same thing as you are. Like it's if you got him, you're believing in him, and I think it's very possible that his value rises within a few months here. So
Fun. I also just want to point out that Louis has now said, "I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you that." Makes me. I can't wait for the next. I'll tell you. The next one is our running back. Ryan, do you want to take this one first?
Sure. I'll still buy Brees Hall for a late first in certain leagues. I that's going to be somewhere I'd like to push early second. I'd rather sell the early second to get him. I think he's very gettable right now. People are concerned, even with the results of the NFL draft and the Jets mostly staying away from that position. I think he has a lot of outs. I think if he's on the Jets, he's likely their lead back, regardless of the coach speak. And if he gets traded, he's more than likely going to be the lead back because they're going to trade an asset for him. So I'm willing to still bet that for the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to get some good value on Brees Hall.
I just traded him pretty cheap, and I'm gonna look for it. I can't remember which friggin' league, but I even had like kind of immediate seller's regret. So it's not that I don't disagree with you there. It was just the trade. I remember being like, I just want this guy, and I'm gonna pay a little bit more, and I ended up doing that. But yeah, I agree with you there. My guy is going to be Josh Jacobs. I just did it in a league with Mike. We overpaid a little bit, I would assume. We did 1-9 and what did we do? 1-9 and Zay Flowers for Jacob, Swift, and a late second. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't love this draft, and at 1-9, it hurt me, but I took that value as Jacobs' good value at 1-9. We were up against drafting one of the two tight ends on a team that they both fell to us in a FFPC tight end premium league, but we had Kincaid and Andrews on that team. Like, it was really tough to justify needing that. We missed Harvey by one pick. We would have loved to get Harvey. So we kind of did what we did, but I do think Josh Jacobs has two really top 10 years left in him, and RB1 years left in him, and I'll take that on good teams.
All right, next up, wide receiver. Lou, take this one.
My wide receiver here was DK Metcalf. We don't know what the quarterback situation is there. It's obviously looks like it's going to be Rodgers for 1 year, and I don't know. Does anybody think it's crazy to think that he's going to be 2 years? He's going to be better than anything that they've had, that they've had. The Pickens thing doesn't really scare me. I think Metcalf I still want to buy just the player. I just think the player is a good player, an athletic freak, and I think he hopefully I shouldn't assume this with the Steelers, but I would assume that in 2-3 years he's going to get a quarterback upgrade in this offense. So I don't know. I think Metcalf is worth the buy and way better than anybody that's back there, and then the 9 to 12 range in this draft to me.
Ryan.
All right, I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers for my vet to buy. Zay Flowers always has had some interesting, value. He's not like that top alpha, but he's the top option right now, I think, in the Ravens passing offense, which you could say what you want about how valuable that is. But here's the situation. I think if you're buying that asset for a late first right now, there's a chance that either you get paid off with the points, on your roster and helping you win, or there's a lot of insulated value with Zay Flowers. I mean, they didn't draft really anybody at the wide receiver position this year. They spent a lot of picks on defense, and let's say next year, he posts another wide receiver 24 finish. I think you can sell him for about that price or maybe a little bit more next year before they go and draft someone. And I kind of like the profile. I think he's been a good player. So I'll buy Zay Flowers for a late first.
All right. And finally, for this round, tight end, Ryan, you're going to go first.
Yeah, tight end is tough in this range. If it's not tight end premium, I think that this one you might have a legitimate chance of doing it because some of the owners got spooked by last year. I'm going to say it's Sam Laporta. It's probably a bit light. I will admit it's probably going to cost you a little bit more than a late first to get him from most owners. But listen, you have a question mark at best with JMO. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they're losing Ben Johnson. And I think Laporta is just kind of due for a bounce back. So if someone's impatient and they're willing to get off of him, I'd be willing to snatch that up right now.
I'm going when I say this again, this might be like a Justin Fields thing, like 111, 112 in a regular tight end premium league, not these crazy ones that we talk about all the time. But I'm going Dalton Kincaid. And I got in this conversation with Cooked by Shakir today, our girl Jenna from the Buffalo Fanatics, and a couple other people that were in this thread. And I think she agreed with me. We'll have to have her on one day. But everybody's looking at that post today of he's got the 2 knee braces on. He looks anorexic, man. I mean, he really does look like he dropped some weight during whatever the knee surgeries are. He looks tiny. But I made the counterpoint that people put that and we're shitting on him. My thing is, I don't know if he loses some weight, or if he comes in light, and I know that they want him to build up, so whatever. But if the injuries did that and that's how he comes out, then he's going to not be inside the box as often. And he's going to be out in the slot and the wide receiver. I don't know. I've told you so much about him. It's been bad luck over the last few years. I really like who he is, and he still has the best quarterback in the league who did not improve his targets. I mean, there wasn't anybody that came in that's going to take targets from him. If you're going to tell me Elijah Moore, you're crazy. He's going to end up getting the same amount of targets and less bad luck. So,
no, the bad luck that you're talking about is just that God didn't make him a better football player. So that's his bad luck.
I mean, all right. Allegedly. All right. Now let's do the next round. We're going to do vet players that you think could get for a late round pick. Veteran players you think you could get for a late round pick. Again, we're going to do quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. We'll make these kind of quick, but first up, we'll do quarterback again. We will start with Louis.
I hate to do this to you, Ellie, but
we're
going to go quick. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you could get him for a 3rd or 4th round in these things right now, he's definitely playing 1 year. I just said 5 minutes ago, is it crazy to think that he would play a 2nd year? No. He's the perfect 3rd quarterback in a super flex league. You don't have to pay anything for him, and he's probably going to play the whole year in a good offense. You're not a 3rd or 4th rounder, especially in this horrible class, is nothing. So if I could get him, I don't think anyone's giving up for him, but maybe people like Allie are just I fucking hate this guy. I want him off my roster. I'll give him to you for free. Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
Well, I read the question wrong, so I'm instead going to give you somebody that I would sell for a late first. Okay, so it's just basically the inverse of before.
Did you pull an Allie and then do the metaphorical, not listen to the question, just said coaches who are hot, not coaches who are.
Yeah, listen, I am just doing my version of coaches who are hot right now.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So give us your new trade.
Well, it's great because 2 of them are guys that Louis mentioned. So at first with quarterback, I'll start Justin Fields. If I can get a late first for him right now, I'll sell him. So Lou, if we're a match in any of these leagues, let's try to work this out. I'll sell you Justin Fields for a late first because I'd rather just take the dice roll and I just kind of expect this to be Justin Fields like last year of fantasy relevance. I think we've seen it a couple times. I've been burned by it a couple times. He might be productive. I just don't think he's ever going to be a team's long-term answer at quarterback. So I'll take the shot on the first round pick being the hit and move on. So that's my pick for quarterback. For running back, again, who I would sell for a late first if someone's willing to pay the price, it's James Cook. I don't know why he's not more loved like in the fantasy community. I guess maybe people have wisened up by the fact that it's a lot of touchdown dependency last year, and it's kind of the system and a plug and play and whatever. And the contract dispute obviously doesn't help right now. But damn it, somebody give me a freaking late first for James Cook. I got him in a lot of places, and I'm willing to deal it, but nobody's biting. So maybe he shouldn't be on the list because I haven't been able to get any takers. But that's who I would pick.
All right, you heard it here first, fans. All right, Louis, with the assignment, who would you
when they did it right, I would buy running back Javonte Williams. You could probably get for a third or fourth rounder. He's probably lined up to be. I mean, not probably. He's gonna be the starter over Jaden Blue in Dallas, unless they bring in somebody like Nick Chubb or what else is even out there. They might bring in somebody, but still, I think Javonte Williams will get the most. I think you could get him for a third because nobody really, he still has some bad juju from Denver. I'd buy him pretty easily to give me some good numbers this year on a winning team.
Here's we're gonna do a point counterpoint. Ryan, would you sell? Like, would you do how you are taking this trade? Would
I sell Javonte for a late third? Yes, I would.
Okay, so there you go. So you got a deal there, Lou.
Yeah, we got a match.
We got a match. Now with the wide receiver, do you want to take that one too, Louis? And then
I mean, I'll do my two buys for cheap, and if he wants to do his two sells that he has there, you can do that. So I'll do my wide receiver and tight end. My wide receiver and my tight end are Elijah Moore and Gesicki. I know I just said Elijah Moore is not taking Kincaid's targets, and he very possibly could be cut. He could be MBS from last year. There's no guarantee. He didn't get a lot of guaranteed money. I love the player. I loved Elijah Moore coming out of college. I thought it was crazy when they drafted Garrett Wilson because I thought Moore was like the clear-cut one there. He's coming back. He's coming off a 200-plus target years, and going to the best quarterback in the league. He's been in quarterback hell his whole career. This is, obviously Josh Allen's probably the best quarterback that most people play with, but he hasn't had anything close to an NFL quarterback. So if I could get him for a third, all day. Gesicki, you could get real cheap. And not for nothing, since he didn't bring in any competition through the draft, I think they really like Eric All, even though they're going to lose him for the rest of this year because he had the bad injury. So maybe they're expecting him to take over the starting job next year. But for this year, you're going to get Gesicki with no competition. He had a great year there last year. I would grab him anywhere I could.
All right, so for my late first that I would sell for a late first is Ricky Pearsall. I'm just not totally convinced he's going to be the guy. I know he was a late first round pick last year for them and showed some promise down the stretch, but I'm just a bit skeptical on the profile. So if someone's willing to reset with me after spending an early second or mid second on him last year, I'll cash in on that chip. And then my tight end to sell for a late first, or perhaps even less, is Dalton Kincaid. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't buy that he is going to be a factor in this offense. And I'm ready to cut bait pretty much anywhere that I have him. So if you can get a late first for him, I would do it. Would you trade him for a late first, Lou, in a non-tight end premium?
I'm sorry, who was that? I got distracted, seriously.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, no, I told you, I'm buying him. I'm buying Kincaid at a late one.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my player where I'm trying to buy Kincaid right now. I think today's pitcher showing him at soaking wet a $105 and two knee braces, Yeah, I'm gonna buy the dip. I mean, he's gonna be very, very affordable here the next few weeks because people are scared of that. You know how everybody overacts. So, yeah.
Is this which I'm looking? There's the
Let me see if I can pull it up because it is. I mean, he's looking unhealthy. I don't want to make it seem like it was pretty bad. Oh, here we go.
him in
Here we
Utah looks pretty bad too when he was in
Here we
college.
go. Let me present
Do not
the.
show a Bangladesh album. Don't do it. I'm scared.
So he's looking pretty skinny. I mean,
That booty looks juicy though. Okay.
that's not his booty. That's someone else's booty. This dude that's
Yeah,
Dalton here, and
he looks
Dalton.
long and lean.
He's got 2 knee braces.
We
He
all.
looks like he's 100 pounds. Man, it is a scary picture. I will say that.
He looks special teams. Like he looks very long and lean. Like he does.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he's got 97 days to bulk up. So
We all know all the historically great tight ends are very small and scrawny in nature. So yeah, it's looking good for us.
close out this stadium in a good good year. All right. So now I'm a little nervous, and all the moms and cooks out there, if you need to send a casserole, please send it to Dalton Kincaid. Okay. All right. So our draft is a very fun one. We're gonna do a '90s toy draft. Is it just because we're feeling nostalgic?
No, yeah. I mean, it was mostly because I've been clearing out my daughter's toys from when she was a baby, and it's really funny because everything I've asked her to help, and she's doing that thing that we all do, right? Like we're all hoarders, we all don't want to let go of the past, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm going to use this again." And I'm like, "You haven't used that since you were 4 months old. That's not even a toy; it's a ring that you used to. It's a chew ring. It's not even a toy. So she's doing that, and it just made me, get nostalgic, think about mine and my things. And then I did do a day in my mom's attic recently where I found all my old stuff, and I was
Fun.
like, yeah. So it's a fun thing. Let's do it. I do feel a little bit like I made it 90s because you guys are a little bit younger than me. I probably
No, we're the same age though. The other thing is, if we do it like a quick thing, I could do 6.
Okay. Let's do it. Yeah, let's blow through 6 and we'll go blow through it.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Louis, you weren't born in like 1974. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm older than you. All right. All right. It's me, then
Okay.
Allie, then Ryan. And with the first pick overall, I have to take something that's probably I could have gotten later, but it's the reason why I'm doing this now, the podcast. It's the reason why I've always wanted to do radio or sports broadcasting, and it's my Talk Boy. I would watch every single game with my Talk Boy in hand, and I would do play by play. I remember literally remember it like it was yesterday, doing play by play for the 1993 national championship game with Charlie Ward, quarterback of the Florida State Seminoles, where I was going to go to college before I dropped out of high school. when I was 7, I was going to Florida State because Charlie Ward did. I did not know what everything else is going, but my Talk Boy was, I would love to find those tapes because I legitimately had so many play-by-plays in every game. So yeah, Talk Boy's one.
That is my favorite Christmas gift I've ever received, and I also received a Talk Boy, not a Talk Girl, because remember they had to get the Talk Girl, which is in pink. Also, we recall Home Alone, where the Talk Boy was clearly the star of that film. All right. That was my number one, but since I'm always in the middle, I'm gonna go with the thing that gave everyone anxiety in the 90s. I'm gonna go with the Tamagotchi. I had a Nano Baby, but a Tamagotchi, just amazing. There's tons of knockoffs, which I also had. You can get them at odds and ends. And we would kill it now. I'm not like we would kill the game of life like in a great way. I mean, but not like actually kill it. Like I feel like any of us could do it now because we're on our phones all the time. So that's another connection of being on your phone. Interesting.
That is funny to think. It was like the original phone game.
Yeah.
Keeping your Tamagotchi alive. That's funny.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead,
Ryan.
So happy that this
I know what it is.
very, I think, could be a clear 101 is still available for me. I'm going to go with the Nintendo 64. I mean, are you kidding me? The greatest, arguably one of the greatest video game systems of all time. I mean, just you can still pick it up today. The best sign of a good system is you can still pick it up today and have just as much fun as you did back in the day. Any of those games. I mean, Star Fox. I mean, just Mario Kart, Mario Party, any of them. Amazing. Loved it. Spent so many hours.
Best game of all time.
007. Easily. Yeah. All these games, just classics. And then another one of these like legendary toys that you get at Christmas time. And like, there was a craze about it. And there were a couple of these, but I'm going to go with the Furby. It was just like, I feel like it was just so popular and it really wasn't that great. Okay. So it knocks it down a couple points, but the novelty and like you say 90s toys and the first thing on my list was a Furby. And the second thing was Tamagotchi, but, so I'm happy to take Furby here. So N64 and Furby.
I love it. When McDonald's makes a toy, that's when you know it's good. And I have the I had the McDonald's plastic Furby, not the actual Furby. All right, my number 2 pick is I love N64. 007 still is the greatest game of all time. But I'm going to go with the Game Boy.
Game Boy's good. Game Boy's good, and I think I wasn't going to shit on Ryan too much for using a gaming system, but I do feel like when you say toy, at least Game Boy fits the mold the most. Like, a video game system isn't necessarily a toy, so I try to leave those off. But Game Boy's in your hand. That's a toy.
Dude, what are you talking about? How is that not a toy? How is N64 not a toy?
I think it's a toy.
I mean, I'm not fighting back too hard.
Louis going to see the rabbit on his choice.
I didn't say erroneous. Okay, did we decide whether or not we're doing 6? Are we doing 6? Because that's really important. Or are we doing 4?
Let's do 4.
All right, we're only doing 4. All right, that's fine. That's important here.
We could do
because I want to know what I'm left with.
I feel like someone's going to take mine. That's why
I'm gonna go here with any form of like the wrestling figure dolls. Like that was such a big thing. I mean, I would put on matches. I would they probably were, all the ones I had were probably worth millions of dollars, but I like drew penises on them, and like I was the dumbest person. I like drew, and they're all ruined. They're in my mom's attic, just with a bunch of penises all over them. But I loved playing with them, and I was a big wrestling fan. Love it. And then I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with this, and I don't think anybody else would have. So I probably could have went last pick, but I need it. I wanted so bad, and we were poor, and this was like an expensive item, I think. And I just have never been so disappointed in my life. You remember like the big table vibrating football games? Where like the players, it was like electronic.
Yes.
The players just moved slowly. Like it was, dude. They would just like randomly fall over. It was just, I can't believe the shit that we played with. It is so. I was like stoked, and then you set it up, and it's just like 11 players, and they're just. And then just a couple fall over. Like none of them touch each other ever. Like there's not a ball.
Kill the rich, right, Lou?
Go ahead.
So dumb. You're saying that was a poor game or a rich game? I just want to clarify that.
I think it was a rich game made for poor people. If that makes any sense.
Okay. It's like solid chocolate versus hollowed chocolate. I get it. Okay, so do I go with the easy one here? I mean,
Well, I
really,
don't
we
know
would
if
have picked
there's
two six. Let's go easy. I'm gonna go Beanie Babies. Just be kind. Beanie Baby.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a classic.
Classic.
All right, I'm gonna go two that were kind of personal to me that I enjoyed growing up. So first was Pokemon cards. That was like huge in the '90s, and I used to love collecting them. And so I'll go with that. And then in the same category, it was just like I never played the actual game, but I loved having these things. Pogs. Pogs were
Yeah.
great. I
Yep.
mean, it's just again, it was just like cool like designs and stuff. Like you get the ones that like had the metal in them and stuff, and you were just like super pumped to get them and the holograms and everything. So I'm gonna go with Pogs.
Excellent choice. That was on my list as well. So I'm going to switch it up because I could do about 15 here. I have so many things I would love, but I'm going to do one that is funny and it's really, again, we're just okay. See, if only we had 6. Okay, so I'm going to do I'm going to do GAC, which Nickelodeon, their toys were next level. And the funny thing about that, which as you get older, you like realize some things that your kids do or your nieces and nephews or small children that they play with. You're like, oh no, we don't stop. That's so GAC is slime for people that don't know, but it was more expensive and it was in a cool container. But the crazy thing is that GAC is like a nickname for a lot of other things. Um, it's booger sugar. Is it crystal meth? That's actually what they call GAC. But it was just so cool, and it like they had not crystal meth, but GAC the toy. And it just they had like a neon color, and just Nickelodeon ruled the 90s, and it was so cool. And like only my like fun cousin had it. I didn't have my own GAC. So anyway.
I'm going to end. So I have I have
Let's do
3
6. Let's do
things.
6. Let's go. Let's go fast.
Okay,
Though.
all right. She wants to do 6 so bad. All right, because I had a lot. Then I'm gonna go here. Does slip and slide count?
Yes.
You think I can count slip and slide? And I want this here because that's the most. I didn't use it a lot. It wasn't a big part of my childhood, but definitely the most fun activity I always had. It was like my favorite thing to do, but I may have done it once a summer. But slip and slide in.
Right. You want to get one more in there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. And then I'm going for the votes. I'm just gonna go any form of Nerf gun. So I'm taking Super Soaker. I'm taking a Nerf gun. You can't take a Nerf gun from me. If it has Nerf in it,
I'm gonna take a Nerf cannon.
Yeah. Super Soaker 100. Remember that, the 100. I'm gonna go. I'll make this quick. I'm gonna go Bop It.
Yeah,
that's good.
Break him.
All right. For 2, I'm gonna go Tickle Me Elmo again, just like the last of the true legends, I think. And then, this is a really random one, but it's a game I played a lot growing up. It was called Scramball. Did you guys ever play Scramball?
It sounds familiar.
It's a very simple game. It's not like it's just like a ball that had like different colors on each side, and you would wear the wristbands. It was basically like dodgeball, but you had three strikes, right? Like you would throw the ball up in the air, whoever it would land on, you'd go whoever's wristbands, then you would go get the ball, say freeze, and you'd throw it at somebody, try to get all their wristbands by the end of the game. I used to play that like so many summers growing up.
Was it like electronic, like the bands like lit up or some shit?
No, it's literally they were literally just like little like fleece wristbands that you would just wear.
Yes,
and I've looked for the game since.
Yes, so much fun.
It is. It's a great time. I mean, I would no joke like play it today.
Oh, that's a good pick. See I love it. I'm going to go with the Stretch Armstrong. It was a toy, and you would just they had this great commercial where he was like, "Stop evildoers," and then his arms and his legs would just stretch. He also was a toy from other generations or decades, but they brought him back, new and improved, and then a new tank top in the 90s. So Stretch Armstrong.
I'm trying to think of which one of these I spent the most time on, and I do think it's the Super Simon. out of the ones that are left. The ones where you like had to like repeat the pattern, they would light up, and you had to do that. I think I might have been a little bit on the spectrum as a kid, and I love that game. I would spend hours on it. Just, "Ooh, I remember with the blue
Love it.
But it, like we were poor, it wasn't even like a super assignment. It was just my mom putting blue in front of me.
Your mom's turning a stove on, and she's like, "Blue flame, yellow flame."
Now you do it. That's such a good way to end. Any ones that were left off your list?
I think I get one more, right? I think this is my.
No, you got 6. That was it. I
So
ended it.
Yak Back was my other one, which was the Look for Less Talk Boy, which was like just like it was another which also rhymes with Gak. So we weren't that exciting in the 90s, but recorded everything. What else did I have? Tickle Me Pogs, Stretch Armstrong. Yeah, that was like a good list.
Allie came prepared. Rye, anything on your list that you missed?
The only other one I had on there was Dreamcast, and that was only if I didn't get N64 because technically Dreamcast came out in '98, and I loved Dreamcast. I was like, I never understood why it didn't take off. Like it was fun. It was a good system.
Yeah, Polly Pocket was great. Every Barbie, Ninja Turtle games were really cool. Mall Madness. There was a resurgence of like Clue, and man, there's so many good things. Every Power Rangers toy.
I left Light Bright off. Etch-a-Sketch. Spent a lot of time on an Etch-a-Sketch, and maybe this is the poor boy in me, but I spent a lot of time loving a slap bracelet.
Some call it jewelry, you call it a toy. There you go. Love it. That was a great draft. That I just 90s nostalgia gets me every time. That was a great draft, great pick, everyone. A couple weeks in a row. Look at us killing it. But thank you, everyone, for listening to Analytics Are for the Nerds, a Comedy Dynasty football podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. We are on every platform, so YouTube, Spotify, all the good stuff, right? And have a good week and 97 days until training camp. We'll see you next week. Thanks.